Good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you're joining us from. My name is Brenda Unu, and this is Women's Matters. Hi, Ruth. Great by Grace. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. So exciting to have you. Welcome. Thank you, Jackson. Thank you for joining us. So this is Women's Matters, a platform where we discuss about things that affect women and everything around it. So this month, as a matter of fact, we're talking about children. We're dedicating the month of May to children because it's the month of children. And today we're especially dedicating to the boy child because we're just coming back from the celebration of the International Day of the Boy Child, which is May 16th. Most of you don't know. If you did not know it now. May 16th is the International Day of the Boy Child. And so we're picking our topic that concerns boys because, we're thinking about the boy child. There's not so much said about the boy child. Many people always talk about girls this, girls that, and today we're focusing on the boy child. It's unique today, right? Yes, I had an event that I could not miss, but I said, you know what? I've got to come out and do my live. So I'm going to be in the car because, you know what? We've got to do what we've got to do. So you guys are going to take my car location today. So back to the topic at hand. We're going to be talking about how to prevent sexual abuse in the boy child. When I was thinking about it, I said for the whole month of May, I want to talk about the children. So I reached out to my friends who are parenting coaches or do things, about children in different ways. And I asked them, I said, give me your topic, right? Just run it by me and we'll see how to make it work. And yes, we show up anyway. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. I see you. Thank you for joining. Shoses Meal Plan Yopame, I see you. Loretta, I see you. Queen Eta Lobo, I see you. And Momina, all of you, welcome. Dr. Dara Okewo, welcome. Thank you for joining. And we talked about it and said, you know what? Nowadays, there's a lot being said about preventing sexual abuse with children. There's so much conversation about teaching your children sex education and all of that. But what we notice is that most people focus on the girl child because, of course, sexual abuse with the girl child is more obvious, right? If a girl has been harassed or abused, it's obvious, you can see it and all of that. But many boys have been sexually abused. In fact, if you take a poll among the men that you know, many of them will tell you that their first sexual encounter was by their housemaid or by an auntie living with them or by somebody else. What is this? This is purely sexual abuse. There's no other name for it. But because they are boys, they think it's okay. They mention it as sexual encounters. What really happened to them was sexual abuse. That's what it was. There's no other name for it, right? And so many of them have gone through life, become promiscuous as a result of that. Imagine a child being introduced to sex by an auntie when he was maybe 7, some of them 8, some of them 13. All of them at tender ages, and these aunties in quotes that were supposed to be watching over the boys were constantly abusing them. Now, these boys grow up and they become promiscuous, they become, sexual addicts, and people start to say, gosh, you like sex too much, why are you like this? Nobody knows that this is just the effects of the trauma of the abuse that they had suffered over the years. So now these conversations are coming out and we're now realizing that we need to talk more about it. Okay, we need to talk more about it. We need to look more at our boy child and say, come, what's going on with you, right? Did anybody touch you? The kind of concern that we show with the little girls, we need to show for the little boys too, because boys can be abused and the effects are also traumatic. All right, so children are all important to God, both your boy child and your girl child, but today we shall be focusing on the boy child, right? My guest is nurturing the boy child. Her name is Amina Ismail. She'll be joining us shortly. Before she comes, I want us to just talk basically about the boy child. Tell me, if you have a boy, please let me know in the comments. If you have a boy child, any of you listening to me now, if you have a son, let me know. If you have one, tell me one child and tell me his age. Let's just take a poll of the boy children that we have, even right here on this call. I personally have 2 male children. I have one that is 10 years old going on 11 and the second one is 7. And I look at them and I just think I would kill somebody if I find out that anybody tried them. And sometimes you try to think that, is it, I mean, are we aware of all the things? Okay, so right by grace, you have 14 and 12, you see? And these are ages where they are really, curious. They are curious at this age. They are finding out things. They're asking questions. They want to know more. And these are the ages where people, I think I got that. These are the ages where, the aunties in quote try them. You see? The other day, my son was having a shower and I went to the bathroom, like, uncle, what's that over there? I mean, the children have grown, they're growing older, they're developing. And so, in the same way that we're looking at them like babies, some aunties in the house will look at them like, this boy is packing something. And they can easily be influenced. They start by bringing them to watch porn on their phone or something, and then they start to influence them and start to touch them. Before you know, they start to raise these feelings. And little boys who have no business, who should be playing football, basketball, and other games, are being introduced to sexual activity. It's a pandemic. It's going on everywhere, and we have to stop it. So boys can be abused by their teachers. They can be abused by their parents. Sometimes even the parents. Yeah, I mean, I've heard about boys who were abused by their mother. I don't even know what kind of mother that would be, but I mean, it has been heard. So sometimes boys are abused by stepmothers. Sometimes they are abused by teacher figures. Sometimes nannies. Sometimes even home teachers that come and teach lesson at home. Sometimes it's just all kinds of things, and sometimes they're abused by boys. Older boys, not just by girls. So the boy child is in grave danger. Like, there's so much contending for the male child. I have this coach that I listen to, and he's always talking about it, that the devil is attacking the boy child because he realizes that he's the head of the home, as the head of the family. And once you get the head, of course, everybody will scatter. So imagine when you attack the boys and they grow up to be nothing, and then they now get married tomorrow. They can't get anything done, right? They cannot head the family. They cannot lead the family anyway because they themselves have no direction. So we have to fight for the soul of our boys. We have to fight for the spirit of our boys as much as we fight for the girls, right? I'm a women's empowerment advocate. I'm everywhere for the girl child and for the women. But you know what? We have to learn to fight as much for our boy child. And this is what the International Day of the Boy Child brings into focus. I mean, I remember the day I found out that there was the Day of the Boy Child. I was so happy because before that, we used to celebrate the day of the International Day of the Girl Child in my house. It's October 11th. They go to a girls-only school, so of course it's loud in their school. When they are celebrating, it's like everybody knows. So my son will be like, this is so nice, but mommy, is there a day for the boy child? And I did not know what to answer. So I think maybe about 2 or 3 years ago is when I first discovered it. When I heard, I was so happy to tell him that yes, there is a day for the boy child. And I remember how we celebrated it. We went overboard. We got pizza. I got them cards. I wrote little notes for them and all of that. And they were so happy to be celebrated. And we need to do more for our boy children. For someone like me that started with girls first, I have 2 girls and then 2 boys. So I'm used to girl stuff. And I have to remember myself. Every day I wake up myself and say, hey, you have boys now. Wake up and be a boy mama. I mean, it doesn't have to be one or the other. You can do both. The best thing is just be a good parent, okay? When you're a good parent, whatever you do, you'd think about the child. And so you'll be able to do better for the boy and do better for the girl. Okay, so now we're talking about preventing sexual abuse for the boy child. How can we do that? I think the first way is basically by education. Boys are very, inquisitive, right? And they're very brave. They're not afraid of anything, right? Boys, they want to try everything. The average boy wants to break open that toy and find out what is making it tick. They want to know why everything works the way that it does. Oh, yes, our guest is here. Thank you. Let me see. And them focus and learn the things that they need to learn. How do you keep them and hone their inquisitiveness in such a way that it doesn't cause them trouble? Hello, how are you, Amina? Nice to have you today.
Good evening, ma'am. It's an honor to be here.
Ah,
I
I
am
was I
honored
was
and
looking
happy
at time
about
for you. I said
it.
if she does not come in the next two
Sorry,
minutes like this.
just finished me. You just finished me completely.
Welcome,
Ah, I
welcome.
see you up the most. I can't now. I can't do that. Sorry. So you just
I know.
ran in from only for me to come live and see that you're even on the streets. Ah, I say okay. It's like my own is even better.
I'm telling you, your own is better. Or you're back home. Me, I'm on the streets.
Yes. Oh my God.
Welcome, welcome.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining. I mean, now
Thank
tell us a
you.
little bit about yourself and the work that you do, so that our guests can know why you are the
Okay.
one selected to have this conversation today. Tell us.
Okay, all right, coach. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor as usual. Just
You're
speaking to you,
welcome.
you just have a way with, conversations and how to. You should be on, I don't know, one of all of those CNN. We're getting you there very, very
We're
soon
getting there. We're
anyway.
getting there. We're getting there.
Getting you there very soon. But it's just so easy to have conversations with you. And so I'm always happy when, you call me to come and sit talk with you.
Yeah,
Okay, so is that my network or can you still see
we
me?
can see.
Okay, so
Okay.
yes, okay. So yes, I'm Amina Ismail. I am a boy mom coach or just parents of boys generally. I have my eyes on parents of boys. I am constantly terrorizing them and getting them to parent our boys better because it's clear, it's
Mm,
obvious, and thankfully too. The like 4, 5, 6 years ago,
mm,
we just knew there was an issue, but we couldn't pinpoint it. But now, at least
mm,
we understand where the problems are coming from. And so what we now need to do is to move from that place of awareness to knowledge and implementation. So basically, I help moms of boys with skills and strategies and tools to just, help them raise more wholesome boys. Yeah, so because I see a future where our boys, take back their place as leaders,
mm.
while the future is female, as they say, what happens to our male? If they will just go
I
extinct.
know.
And yeah, so who will the females even end up marrying and working with? So no gender is better than the other. I am a proud advocate of that. I constantly say it. No gender is better than the other. So this is me just trying to help moms, just trying to help us see how we can have, more productive men, more wholesome men, men who are empathetic, compassionate, and just emotionally balanced. Yes.
Mm.
So I
I
do
don't.
not know. This is a mouthful. I don't know how to summarize this, what
No,
I
we don't
do all the
need
time.
summaries. We don't need summaries. We need to give it all to us. And thank you so much for what you do because every time I coach women, right? And
Yes,
every time we
ma'am.
gather to talk about marriages, about their husbands, you get to hear, oh, he's doing this, he's not doing that, he's doing this, he's not doing that. And while I empathize, and I just keep on telling them, pray, do this, do this, do that, I always bring us back to, oh, so, and the young men you're raising in your house,
What are
how
you
are you
doing with
making
them?
sure that they will not end up like this? How are you making sure that they are not going to be causing pain to another girl in the future? How are you going to make sure that when your daughter-in-law sees you, she showers you with prayers and gifts, and not are you like, you're the cause of my problem right now,
Yes,
mama? Don't come to my
yes,
house. So and so I always turn it back to that. So when I see people talking about to boys moms or girls moms, I mean I just love it. I just love it because I know that we should catch them young.
yes.
That's really the way. That's really the way.
Absolutely.
If they know nothing else but the right way, then they will hardly depart from it, right?
Yes, yes,
And that's just what it has to be.
yes,
Catch them young,
yes.
train them young, and they will just go in the way. Hey, the real kitchen shop says she begs to disagree. Bikonu, what did you disagree to? Please tell us,
Please,
tell us, tell us.
please, I
Right,
beg. We are just, we are already killing
right,
us.
right in the chat. What
I don't know.
exactly you
She,
disagree to, so that we
okay, so
can
I don't know
either
because
share
she
the
is a
mother.
very, very female advocate. So let us know, sis. What are you talking about? Because I will take you to court. Like I will beat you hands down when it comes to this issue.
Okay, she's a female
But
advocate.
yes. Yes, so she's
All
always
right.
about the girl child and all
I
of
know.
that. So
I
yes,
love
I
it.
know her. She's one of my big
Hi,
sisters,
Katie.
and yes,
Welcome. Thank you for
yes,
joining.
ma'am. So it's a good thing you said that, sis, because a lot of times, just like you said, we're still nursing our wounds. We're still
Mm,
complaining and still crying and all of that. But
mm,
we forget that the younger boys in our homes are going to be some people's husbands tomorrow. And so, how can we clean our tears? Yes,
mm.
the tears are there. Trust me, I validate, I hold space for every woman that is going through, one thing or the other. But at the same time, we have to stand up and move.
Yeah.
um Time is ticking. and just like you said, it's a cycle. We're going to talk about this. We're here to talk about sexual abuse, and we will see how it is a cycle. It is the same thing with the male child. You don't look after them, and they do not have any model, so I understand the place of the male, the father in raising the son. But at the same time, women are the ones who are blessed with spaces like this, that have people that can come and teach them. We're the ones who are opportune to be in these spaces. Please, how many spaces do you see men in? So because of that, we need to take advantage. We are the ones who are more exposed. Just bring it home. Maybe it will start to make a difference. Maybe from even helping your son, you will start to shift something in the mind of that man that you're struggling with at home. He'll start to see everything in a different light. He'll start to see what was never done to him. So basically, this is where we come from. Like, women, just stand up and move. I know it's difficult. Yeah, I know we need the males to help us parent these boys too, but just stand up and show walking. Like coach would say, show walking.
Thing that you just said gently like this would have been
Yes.
one of the serious questions I would have asked you at the end, but I like that you're taking the bull by the horn, and this is where we struggle. For most people that are trying to raise children intentionally and all of that, you find out that you're like, this man is not helping my ministry, he's not coming along, he's not doing what we need to do. I mean, just this last week, I had to attend a function in my son's school. It was supposed to be for a mother and father. To get the father to follow me was like pulling teeth. I begged, I coaxed, I put alarm in his phone, I called and gave reminders, I did everything, and then I started to threaten. Do you get? Like, we have to be there. So I had to, and I now wonder, why is it so difficult? And look, please, why? Why? And so, like you said, it's not, we cannot give up. We cannot spend time and say, oh, this man is making it difficult for me. We have to do what we have to do. And we will show working. And once we start, I mean, nobody argues with results. Because once you start to get results, they will start to look again and say, come on, this is my doing is working. Oh yeah, show me. How do you do it? Do you see? Where are you learning it? They will start to ask you. They will start to learn. And then together we'll be able to move forward. Okay. Katie, you thought we were supposed to be on today. Katie is next week. Katie is my next week guest, and she's already ready today. I love it. I love it. I hope I did not confuse this. Next week, please, my sister. Okay, so now this sexual abuse of a thing, right? What is it about, and why is it so rampant these days? And how do we help our children?
Sexual abuse is, I don't know. I think I came angry. I came upset because I think lately, just last week, Thursday was the International Day of the Boy Child, and I have been, at least I've visited about 2 schools between then and now, just trying to raise awareness and talk to the boys and tell them we see you, we hear you. We had an event just on Saturday, just to bring boys and moms together, which was awesome, by the way. And so it's, I've been around boys lately, just talking to them and everything. And then it's just been hitting me like, how dare you? How dare these pedophiles? How dare these homosexuals, whatever it is they call themselves? How dare you try to defile a child? And then now that annoyance, it's now, I'm now even extending it to parents. Like, how dare you, out of, I don't know, ignorance? Yes. What are you going to tell me that because you don't want to talk to him about God knows what he already knows, because you don't want to tell him things, so you rather just keep everything hush hush, and then you make things so difficult for him that he can't even speak to you. There is no relationship. Do you know the effect of these things when they finally happen to this child? Like, you will kill yourself over and over, and you will never forgive yourself. So why don't you do what needs to be done now? So I came angry, telling parents, especially moms of boys, that you do not have any excuse. It is so sad. It is so terrible. I feel it's like a sin against humanity and even against God for you to even think of, defiling a child, touching a child inappropriately, just doing those very, very stupid things that people do. And funny enough, the statistics is not even helping matters. They say 1 in every 6 boy, 1 in every 6 boy has
What?
been abused before 18. One in every six boy.
So
One. As
before
in, and that
you
is
joined, I was saying this exact same thing. Like if you take a poll among the men in our generation, among your husbands, your friends, and everybody, and ask them, when
they
was
were
your first
abused.
sexual encounter? It will be before 18, and it will be by an
Yes.
auntie, by a nanny, by a
House
cousin,
help.
by
Thank
somebody else
you.
in house of. It will be by somebody, like, and there's no other name for that than abuse,
Then
right?
abuse.
So they just
Then
think, oh,
abuse.
it's my first sexual encounter. It's not really.
No, it
It's
wasn't.
abuse.
It wasn't. There, it
That's
was
not how it
abused,
was
and
being
even they
practiced.
didn't realize it.
That it was
And
abuse.
while our parents try, I always like doff my hat for our parents and everything, but there was just so much they didn't know, and so they just left so many things to chance.
Yeah.
And so, why they paid, one of the reasons they paid a lot of attention to the girls, how preserving her and looking after her and ensuring, she has to be, no, no,
Pure
not just anybody
in
should
quotes.
carry her, bath
Mm,
her, and all that else. Because, till date, virginity is the price we pay, place on virginity is so high.
mm,
Any girl child who is not seen as a virgin before she gets
mm,
married is like, okay, it has tainted not just her, but the family.
mm.
So it is something that, so it was like a burden on the parent. Like, we have to protect this
Yes.
child. We have to make sure we know where you're going. We have to make sure we know where you are at so time and all of that.
Mm.
But nobody asks about the boy's
Nobody was
virginity. Nobody
checking
cares.
about the
Then do
boy.
you even want to yeah, do you even want to go a step further and say, okay, what if something happens to this girl and she gets pregnant outside wedlock? So
Mm.
all of those things made them pay extra attention
The
to the girl. But what
girl.
happened? The girl who cannot just sit on anybody's lap. It's not the boy can be carried. You see, he's in one neighbor's house, from one neighbor's house to that neighbor's house. They are sending him on errands. People's family fathers are sending him. You don't even know where your child is the moment he comes back from school till
Mm.
it's time to lock your doors.
We're
And it was
careless.
okay.
We're
But
so
in the
careless with the
process,
boys.
things happen. So many things happened to these boys, and even they did not know that this was what happened to them.
Mm.
And so the truth is, a lot of cases, especially in Nigeria, that are cases of homosexuals and everything, a lot of them were abused as children. There is nothing normal about this thing. There is
No.
nothing normal about it. A lot of them were abused as children by males and by females. So you
Mm.
will go, when we keep talking, we'll understand the different forms of sexual abuse. But yes, just the fact that virginity in the boy was just nothing. It didn't
It
matter.
didn't
After all, a
matter.
boy is meant to explore, he's meant to. And so we just left him on his own. And because of that, he picked up so many things. And then the shame that even comes with a boy opening his mouth and saying, and
Mm.
then sometimes they are even manipulated to, what's it called, to be abused. Like, sometimes their organs are touched such that they have an
Mm.
erection. And once they have
Mm.
an erection, they're like, okay, but you had an erection. That
Mm.
equals consent. But that does not equal consent. This
No,
boy
it
didn't even know
doesn't.
what was done
It
with
doesn't
him.
even know what it's
Yes.
doing.
Yes, what is doing? So it's so sad and disheartening for the boy child, really, because nobody, even though I can't feel that pain, like, okay, I don't know how it is but I just, as a parent, you
Mm.
just look at your son and you just wonder, like,
I will,
how
oh,
can anybody do
I
this?
will kill somebody, God forbid. I remember, this thing that you're saying about parents being careless, I can totally relate, because I remember that when I was young, an auntie of mine used to say, that she didn't want girl children, that she wanted only boys, and I picked it up from her. I didn't even know that what she was saying did not make sense. I picked it up, like I literally picked it up, and I told my husband that I wanted only boys. Now, what was her reason?
Boys.
I actually repeated the same reason to my husband. Thank God for deliverance. I now know better. She said
Yes, we
then,
do.
and I repeated even to my husband that, why she wants to have only boys is because she doesn't want to be bothered about chasing the child around and be afraid of pregnancy. I should just, at least just born the child, just leave the child. And I thought,
just
Then she now also
just
said,
read.
we not even asked, what if he gets somebody pregnant? She said, I will collect the child. What's there? I will just collect the
that
baby.
that one
And
was
I
not an
was
issue.
like,
He was going to school, and then,
oh my God.
he doesn't get affected directly.
Do you
Yeah.
understand? I'll collect the baby and life goes on. And I thought,
And
oh
life
my God. And
goes
so
on for
that
him.
that was the mentality among most of the parents. And that's why
That was
they left the boys to just run amok and do what they liked. Now imagine a child,
what
and this freedom without responsibility has led to so many things in their life. Now we're dealing with
So,
men that don't want to take responsibility. We're dealing with husbands that don't
yeah.
want to take decisions. We're dealing with husbands that don't want, it's a ripple effect, right? You left the
Yes.
child when they were young, thinking, oh, what's that can happen to them is a boy, he'll be okay. And then the child did not learn anything. He did not learn how to protect himself. He did not learn how to care for himself. He now wakes up, he's been abused. A he's now an addict, a sexual addict. He's now promiscuous, and you're now here abusing him again. That, oh, all men will be men. All men are like that. And no, men are not like
All men
that.
are stop. All men are
Everything
this.
God
All men are
created
that. So
was good.
yes.
God created
Oh,
men, and
thank
He
you.
said everything He
Yes. Yes.
created was good.
Yes.
So men are
Yes.
not all bad.
Yes.
Boys are
No.
not all bad, and so we
No,
cannot
are
agree
not.
to this kind of
No.
this kind of
No.
blanket statements. So
Yes.
please, let's talk
Yes.
about it. How can we help them? Now we now know how we got here, right?
How we got
This
here?
is how we got here.
Here.
Parents were careless. We didn't know better. So now in this new
Yes.
generation that there's so much information, how can we help ourselves to make sure that we're not repeating the mistakes of our parents? Please tell
Yes.
us.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for, when you say, and that's one of the things, if you, the moment you, and that is what we, just what I keep telling moms of boys, that the moment you understand these boys, you're able to come from a place of empathy. You're able to come from a place of, okay, I know that, you just want to try new things. I know that, the testosterone just keeps you just going and going and going. But I understand, but I have to teach you how to be better. That is it. So when you come from that place of empathy, coming from that place of not blaming, not pointing fingers, like I'm done, I'm tired of pointing fingers. Can we just sit down and see how we can start to work
And
from
do
using
better.
what we have? But funny enough, the sad thing, sorry, I have to point out the sad thing, because someone's going to hear this again and go and still say, this was what I learned. So why are you not like this? So what we do with knowledge is that we now become so proud, and I have learned this thing again. Oh, so this is why so are you sure you too, you were not molested as a child? Is that why you cannot take responsibility? So very nasty things. So, but no, this is not what we are saying.
Please
Do not let
don't go
this
and fight
knowledge
your
kind
husband
of
at
like,
home.
no, 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 have a negative impact on you, but take it and come back home and say, what can I do with it? How can I start to help my son better? How can I start to hold safe space for my son? And every male around you, actually, you need to start to just have an eagle eye. Like your eye should be wide open. Look for signs, look for things around you. What's happening? Why is he walking like this? Come, come, come. Why are you limping? Why,
The way
just
you
take
would
every
look
boy
out for a
child.
little girl. The way you would
Yeah,
look
the
out for a
way
little
you
girl,
look out
you
for a
look out
little
for.
girl, it's almost like they were just meant to be taken care of. And then boys are just like, you'll be fine, but they are first human before being male. So can we just treat them like humans? But it starts first of all with connection. I call myself, if you want, the connection queen. I'm
I
constantly
love
talking
it.
about building healthy relationships with your son. And there is nothing, if you are always at loggerheads with your son, I'm sorry, there's nothing you're going to tell him, or there's nothing you're going to tell him, say, oh, I'm doing this in your own interest. No, he doesn't believe you. For boys, this he would believe what they see. So do you spend time with him? Do you have a very cordial relationship with him? Do you people talk? Do you people have conversations? Are you that safe space for him? I'm not saying do you indulge him? Do you shy away? Do you shy away from the silly things he does? No. But
Yeah.
even when you're correcting, you correct him lovingly. Do you even know exactly who he is, his temperament, and all of those things? Like, these things matter. If you do, you or even understand how to teach him and how to help him. So the first thing is having a healthy relationship with your child. And then that is when his brain is kind of, okay, mommy cares about me, because it's easy for them to just say, mommy is judging me. It's easy
Yeah.
for them to say, mommy is judging me. It's easy for them to, even when you say speak up, someone just wrote, telling them to speak up a lot. What do you do with him before that time when you're telling him to speak up? If he sees that you're constantly,
Judging
criticizing
everything
him,
he says.
constantly judging everything he says, I promise you he will not speak up. So can your son just be free with you? Can he come back from school and be able to tell you that, okay, this friend did this and
My
said
mom,
this, and
my mom will
you
say,
guys are constantly.
Mommy, don't be annoyed. Oh. Promise that you'll not be annoyed. I would not brace myself
Yes,
because, dear Lord, help me. What is coming next? Mommy,
dear
promise you will
Lord,
not shout.
help
Mommy,
me.
just
You
promise.
know?
Promise that you'll not be annoyed.
Yes,
Then they'll start.
yes. Yes,
Oh my goodness.
like sometimes you
Connection.
say some things, all you want to
Absolutely.
do is just like How dare you? Or how can you be around those kind of friends? Because there was a time my sons constantly come back and tell me how this one said this in school and some kind of very silly words, and in my head I feel like just saying, just you can't be friends with this kind of person, you can't be. But am I going to follow him to school the next day? Am I so you just let it slide and we just laugh about it, and then later you come and you talk, but do not be in that place where you're constantly judging. So honestly, the first thing is to have a healthy relationship with your child, and then you need to start to that after, alongside that, start to teach this child, start to talk to the child like, okay, these are there. Your whole body is private to you. Your whole body cannot be touched by just anybody or looked at by just anybody. Trust me, because we are in an all boy home, this was difficult for us to do, to get each boy to maintain his own privacy. You will see everybody dangling things, around because there's nobody to be shy of. But I had to, I had to, as I said to grow, I had to start to say no, we have to, not even the looking, it's not right. So even you moms, how are you dressed in your homes? Are you properly dressed? Are their sisters properly dressed? Or do you people just, oh, they are my sons and everything, and then you're constantly haunting these boys with images that they could
Putting
never get
things
out
in
of their
their
head? In
putting
their
things in their way.
head, in their head, in
I
their
love
I
it.
was going to say that, see, this is what's it called? If your boys are here, your children are here, please chase them away. There are some things we're going to say,
Yes,
and
this
even
is
like
not
when
this
you're
is not
getting,
a
when
call
you're
for the
intimate
boys,
with
or
your
this is a call for
husband,
the parents.
no,
Please,
this
no
is a call
boys.
for the parents. So I need to speak freely. I don't want to be saying TT or tutu. No, let us call the pennies what it is. Let us call the anus what it is, so that nobody just comes and nobody just comes and just tells them something and then they don't even know the right words to use, even when they're explaining it to you. So it is essential to tell them, let them know the body parts. Do not see, do not touch, do not look at someone else's own, and also the fact that even when you're intimate with your spouse, how what's the word? How discreet are you guys? Do you just,
Oh,
are you just careless about it? Or
mm-hmm.
it is very key. Yes, there's a place for showing affection in front with your spouse and everything, but when we go down to the real deal, just having
Lock your
just how
doors,
quiet are you?
please.
Do you lock your doors? Are
Lock your
you Your
doors.
kids might be awake? Are you so loud, or do you reduce your voice? These are things that we have to take into consideration because they are very imaginative,
Don't
and
traumatize
from imagination
your
they're like, okay,
kids.
let me just check this thing on the internet. And so,
Mm,
when we made we talked about making a mistake with the topic today, where we're like, okay,
mm-hmm.
it showed up as as screen
Digital.
addiction and
Mm-hmm.
related topic. And why I did not flinch was because you can't talk about sexual abuse without talking about screen addiction. Because now sexual abuse has moved from our father's days when they were physically touching and doing all of those nasty things
To
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 when we're
what they are
doing it on
putting
the
in their
screen,
head.
what they are
Yes.
putting in their head and what they're seeing on the screen and what they
Mm,
are watching on the TV. So
mm.
we have taken it a notch.
Ah,
We've taken it up a
I
notch
never,
where
I
we
never
have
thought about this in this direction. That actually exposing children to inappropriate content on the screen is sexual
yeah,
abuse.
it's
It is
sexual
sexual
abuse.
abuse.
It is,
Hmm.
yes, because just by playing a game, an ad will just pop up. Like an ad will just pop up, and the ad will say, like play this game where if you touch a lady's body parts,
Hmm.
you will be able to move to the next level. It was just
Hmm.
an ad, so he was just playing a a seemingly
Harmless
innocent game.
game.
It is
Hmm.
so nasty what these people are doing now. They are so strategic. They are not even
Yes.
smiling. They
Targeting
want to
children,
make sure they infiltrate,
coming in ads in
target
children's
children.
in children's games, in
Yes,
children's cartoon shows.
yes,
It's
yes,
ridiculous.
yes, yes. So do you have a regulatory system in your home where you do
Hmm.
not, okay, there's a password to, or they can't just open apps just anyhow, or they can't just
Hmm.
download apps just anyhow, or they can't just browse without supervision?
Hmm.
Even if it's assignments, please be mindful, please be watchful. Do not just
In
leave
my
them
house
on
now,
their own, because
in my
trust me,
house now, what we've had to do. Sorry to cut you. What we had to do now is to
yes.
place the desktop. So the younger children, they do not have their own personal computers. They use a shared desktop. and the desktop is placed in a vantage corner, that at every time the screen is being faced by where somebody is passing by. So,
Yes, yes.
and
So
these are
all my
boundaries
son,
that we set for them, that makes them, because
yes.
sin and all these things thrive in secrecy. The child will not want to watch
Thank
something
you.
that is not
Thank
acceptable when they know
you.
that my
So
screen is being faced by
nobody
me.
uses system in the room.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing like that. Nobody even
Everybody should
watches
come out.
TV in the room. And
No
everybody
TVs
come
in the
out,
room.
and then all
Nothing in the
four
room.
of them they use their system together. So everybody is in the
Yes.
sitting room using it. So there is nothing like you're here doing something and you're there doing something. So it is very, very essential.
Mm.
We can't joke with these things. How just that, being mindful of how much time they are spending online and what exactly they are doing. Please, these are things that we cannot take for granted. Do not leave. Nobody uses screen except I'm at home. I have to be there. You can't tell me no matter how serious that assignment is. One of my sons is enrolled with Coach Marybeth's, mastermind, and so he's constantly like, "Mommy, you're going now. How do I do Coach Marybeth?" You see, Coach Marybeth, even she would tell me that you should wait till I come home before we do it together. So it's not like I will sit down with you constantly, but I can constantly check you. Just randomly check you and pop in and see what you're doing. So all of those checks have to be. We can't parent these children in absentia. We have to be present. So basically that, and then what else did we look at? We also looked at yeah, calling body parts for what they are, telling them, especially the little ones, the difference between good image and bad image, like that. Because some of them, when these things pop up, the first thing you should do, look, shut down the system, run to mommy, and just tell her this is what you saw. But you do that before you even start. So this is a bad image. This is when this pops up, like a woman that isn't properly dressed. And sometimes even ads like showing underwears or trying to do ads for inner wears and all of those things. It is not appropriate for your child. Let him just come
Yeah.
and tell you that this was what he saw, and then you explain to him. Age appropriate messaging is so key. So do not go into details telling him how this is an erection and all of that. For a 5-year
Not
old, it's
necessary.
not
Yes.
necessary at that point. It is age appropriate image is what's it called? Appropriate messaging and information
Per
passing to our
time.
children is so key. Yes, per time. So just making sure that there's that line of communication that is constantly open, such that they can talk to you. You can talk to them, especially about the friends they keep. I have these ones constantly telling me about the kind of friends, because trust
Friends.
me, you can do what you can do, but you cannot control what his friend, what you do not know who is parenting his friend and what that one has the capability of doing. So let there constantly be communication, such that the moment you see that there's an issue in the knowledge that your son has, allow them to talk. Allow them are constantly preaching and preaching and preaching. No, just throw the open-ended questions. Let them talk. That's when you know what the information they have, is it even right, or is it wrong, and how can you step in. But if you
Yeah.
do not have that conversation going back and forth, you wouldn't know, and continue to preach when whatever the boy knows. And the law of first mention too, like we're constantly told, is key. Don't think that these children are too small to know these things. Please
No,
tell
they're not.
them, or else they'll hear from someone who does not have the same values as you, and they will hear something completely wrong and completely different. And honestly, I was with boys this afternoon, and when I talked about, I was trying to explain internet fraud, as in fraud and all of that. Before they shouted Yahoo, Yahoo. So
They
there
know
is nothing these
everything.
boys don't know.
There's
They
nothing
know
they don't know.
everything. Honestly,
The day I wanted to speak to my children about my two boys, I wanted to speak to them about LGBTQ. And I started with them and I said, "What do you know about LGBTQ?" They were like, They now said they were not okay, they were not sure of all the words, right? So I now took it one by one. I said, "What do you know about gay?" Then I said, "These guys are, have something with the guys." And I said, "Okay, so," and I said, "Who are you?" They said, "I'm a boy." I said, "How do you know you're a boy?" They now said, they were thinking about it. I said, "How do you know you're a boy?" I said, "Because I'm a boy." And I said, "How do you know?" So one of them now said, "Because God made me a boy." I was like, "I love
Oh,
it." So now this
oh,
we now
yeah,
stood on that topic and I said, "Do you know that some people," because I was trying to teach them about transgender, actually. That was the conversation I was trying to start.
yeah.
So now I said, "Okay, so now that you know that God made you a boy, do you know there are some people who feel that when God made them a boy it was a mistake?" They're like,
He made it.
they feel that it's a mistake and they want to change themselves into a girl. Like, no way. So in my house, we have a raging war of girls are better than boys. Like, it's so funny. So because the two girls are together in age and the two boys are together, so they're always doing things like
Yes.
boys versus girls. It's healthy,
Yes.
don't worry. It just makes me laugh.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
they're like, no
Yes.
way, how can I be? No, girl, no. And it was
That's
so
why
funny.
like these
So
these ones, like, no, no,
I'd
I can't.
introduced transgender to them, and I said, so when
Yeah,
somebody comes to you and tries to say,
it's very
oh, do you think you're supposed to
essential.
be a boy? Yes, no, yes. So we had that conversation, and that was it. And that was the level we ended at, right? I didn't
Yeah,
start to talk about, I didn't start to tell them about what do you call it,
so
surgeries and all of
many
those kind of things,
people.
genital changes. We didn't
Yeah.
get to that level. We just had the introductory conversation
As they
and we'll
grow
continue
older,
next time.
you expose
Yeah.
them to more
So
here.
it's
As they
okay
grow
to tell
older,
them
you
a
expose
little
them
at a
to
time. But
yeah.
I always start to do is I start from known to unknown. I will ask them, what do you know about
What
this?
do you know?
When they tell me what they
That's
know, I fill
yes,
in the gap,
yes.
tell them something new again, and then we end it for that day. Then we continue again another day, and we just have to.
Because it's a
One of those times I told my son
it's a
about
continuous conversation.
naming the proper genitals.
Yeah.
Do you know this boy was, I don't know whether 4 or 5. He now is gonna use the penis word in school. Almost. He
It's
now
good though.
they
They
sent
use
for
it.
me. Oh. They sent for me. Oh. And I told them that I don't know what he has done wrong, go. Except he was touching
Yeah,
somebody's phone or he was saying it to a girl. Oh. But
yeah.
we taught them the proper names for the body parts.
And
So tell me exactly
yes.
what he did
Yeah,
wrong. If it's just that he mentioned the word penis, it's not
yeah.
wrong in my own dictionary.
Yes,
So
yes, no,
so
it's
it's
not.
maybe he
It is
said it
not.
to a girl or something that may have been offensive.
That's
Do you
when you
get?
can
But
call me and say, okay, so, my son did something wrong. But that he knows that penis is penis, my dear. Let's even go to court,
let's be
because trust
clear.
me, even here, we constantly say that my penis is not a toy. Because boys, when they start, there is something with them and just that place. They're constantly. And while I know
Mm,
it's natural, we shouldn't allow them get so used to
get
it
used to
and
it.
just get so comfortable with it and everything. So I'm constantly. I don't think 2 days will pass without me having to remind somebody that, see, your penis is not a toy.
No, a toy.
Because it's just at that age where they are just exploring, and before you just oh my god,
I know.
we close that close.
We
They
dealt with
just
that
want to take their
a
bags.
while too. We dealt with that a while with my son too,
Yes,
and of course he's
yes.
outgrown it now, and
They
I'm
will
thankful that I
outgrow
took
it,
the time.
definitely.
I took the
But
time to
definitely, like,
insist
the
and
elders doesn't do that, but the younger ones are, you see. So we're constantly having to tell them exactly what these things are.
yeah.
We're constantly having to shield them from dirty music, and dirty love scenes, all of those things that you watch, what
Yeah.
are Telemundo, and those things that just do them no good. And you sit down. I don't know how parents are able to just sit down comfortably with them and have those, is that
And
you'll not be telling them close your eyes
Big
and not.
Brother in
It
front of your
doesn't.
son. Watch Big Brother in front
Watch Big Brother
of
in
your
front
son.
of your child, please, parents.
It's not
Please,
okay.
parents, these are things that, see, the brain never forgets, and this thing causes, once they see it, they can't delete it from their head. So what are you planting in the minds of your child? Twe, and all of those videos. Please, can you just let them not spare them, please. So you to try to make your what's it called? What you do, let it be clean, because so one day it will just be them taking your phone, and then you just stumble on something that it will lead to. And honestly, that was how a boy actually committed suicide, just because of this, just because of him stumbling on pornography in his father's phone, and he started to do it, and he started to exchange pictures with this, because it's like there are sites where you can, whether is you can see people live or something. And from there, this is true story, from there it was, he started to try to extort this boy. If you don't have sex with me, if you don't have sex with me, or if you don't give me money. And it just kept getting worse and worse, and he said, I can't give you money. And he said, I'm going to tell your parents, I'm going to show your parents. And that was where the boy just lost it. I can't. And he just got, and he was like, I'm just going to kill myself. And he said, yes, you better do, because this thing is going to go to your parents, because I need the money, you're going to get the money. And honestly, that was how this boy died. This is a boy who, he killed himself, a boy who is constantly being locked at home. It's not like he goes out. This thing happened to him outside of his parents' house. This happened to him in his parents' house. So that was what the father said, that was his regret, that how can someone climb, like, he didn't need to climb through the walls of his house, his high walls in his into his home, yet he had access to his child. So this device you're allowing your children to have, please, can we start to reduce the time they spend on it and replace it with other things? It's called green time. Just let them have other things that they do. Let them know that, oh, I want you to reduce this thing. And when you're doing it at first, you can't just come, okay, someone had that spent 3 hours, 4 hours on the screen daily. You can't just come and say, okay, I'm shutting it down. I'm like
No
going
more
cold turkey
screen.
on him. It won't work. You will just have a rebel on your hands. So can we start to, just start to sell it to him? Parenting is marketing. How can you sell it to him so nicely and tell him that, I want you to reduce this thing because I want to introduce you to some very other amazing things. Can we start to explore some sports together? Can we start to see how we can do Scrabble together and all of this, and try to make it fun? And if possible, do it with him. Just get him interested in other things, but replace screen time with brain time, with healthier things, with things. Take a walk with him, do exercises with him. I keep saying that, large as I am, I still play ball with my sons every now and again. Not because I even know how to do it, but I know that they derive joy and pleasure in it. So let them just reduce their attention from screen and all of those things, because screen is I'm going to keep hammering screen, because now, to an extent, we have cameras, so we at least we know that our house helps can't just go take them into one corner and touch them and everything. But most of the sexual abuse we have today is through the screens. So there is no
And screen.
conversation. Yes, there's no conversation of sexual abuse without
Without the
handling
screen
screen
conversation.
addiction. So we need to just expose them to healthier things. Expose them to healthier things. So you're seeing how you have to be intentional in everything.
It's
We
a lot
just
of
came to
work.
talk
Oh.
about
This parenting is work. Oh. They didn't tell us. Nobody told us. I would have had one
nobody
child.
told us.
One.
Even,
And I stopped as one.
even me,
They didn't tell
even me,
me.
I'm still crying.
What?
But the truth is, either we pay now or we pay later. Either way, we do the time. So there is no how. We just have to commit that time now. Or when we think of the work that comes with, I just there was a lady that was talking, and this one hit me because he's this very religious boy. He was learning the Quran, and they were in that place where they didn't even have access to phones and all of that. Like, they were constantly learning the Quran and everything. And then what even happened, I think somehow they got to have access to a phone, and then it wasn't a healthy it was the boy stumbled on something, and that was the beginning of a long battle, which is still on, of addiction, of porn addiction. And it's so terrible because this is something he didn't even like. Ordinarily, the parents are like, no, I'm doing the best for my child. He goes to Islamia, he's learning to memorize the Quran and everything. But trust me, even I was the other day, my gate man, this is true story, so we know that this thing is around us. So we usually have light issues sometime, and so because the inverter is on, the gate man is like, okay, please, can you charge my phone for me? And these boys, that was how my sons came to tell me that, what the gate man used as his profile, as his, what they call, home screen, or whatever it is they call it. And he was like, he couldn't even say it. I should come and see. And when I checked, it was two fingers in the air saying "fuck you." They wrote it, and then they used the finger sign and all of that. This is true story. And I bundled the phone back to him, and I
In
told
fact,
I
you will
had
never
to
charge your
tell
phone
him
here again. You are mad.
it's okay. Let's just not. And I had to reinforce that. You see why I constantly say that adult phones are they are out of bounds, because you do not know the adults that you whose phone you're taking, and say, quickly, can I just quickly play a game, auntie? Can I just quickly play a game? And they open gallery and they see something that their brains will never forget. So these things have gone beyond, okay, the bold, and okay, people doing it and touching and
And
everything. It's in
even
the
moms and
subtle way.
dads, you have to make sure that you're proofing your own phone, right?
You
Sometimes
yourself, your
some
group,
people
yes.
join some kind of WhatsApp groups where nonsense is shared. And if your media is on auto download, you will be saving nonsense that you do not intend. You've not even seen it. Your child will now go and see it before you,
You
and then
haven't
it's
even
not a whole battle.
seen it.
You've not
You
even
haven't
seen
even
it. You would not naturally download it, but because you did not put the simple privacy to say don't download all media, one idiot person in your group, maybe your secondary school group, or some other, all of those other users groups, I don't know why we belong to them. The person will go and
belong.
send one nonsense. It will now download on your phone. Your child will now see it. It will not be a battle. We have to be careful. We have to be careful. We have
It
to be
takes
careful. We have
just
to
one
be
seed,
careful.
plant one seed. Yes,
It takes only
yes,
one
yes, yes, yes.
exposure.
One
Before you know, the
exposure,
child is going to
one
search, going to
exposure.
go and search
One-
naked people, naked,
Because they are so
and
curious.
before you
They are
type
so
it, Google is
curious.
bringing you suggestions.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That
Even
that
children
was
that
what
cannot
happened.
spell, children that cannot spell,
Honestly, that
before
was
they
what
start writing,
happened.
Google is bringing
Even
it.
it happened to my son. This was last holiday. So he was trying to check something, the meaning of something, and before you know it, Google brought out kiss. And before you know, you whenever they are with my phone, honestly, it's not because I have anything bad, but because I know that these things are so before, while he was typing, next thing I just saw a lot of kissing images. And honestly, God forgive me that day, but I actually went, how could you have typed this? I totally forgot that voice that is supposed to say calm down and
Come
ask
down,
him
ask
what
this
happened.
question.
you know I was not there. So yes, this I actually had to apologize to him after that. But I was like, how could you have typed this? And he was just shocked himself, because even he was shocked at the images he saw.
That
So
came as
it was a shocking everything, from
this
the
one,
shock of the image
this
to the shock
one
of what
Yoruba will
mommy
say,
is just shouting and
Ilagbe
everything.
Kileju. What did I ask for? Where did this come from?
And so after
Oh
I
my
had calmed down, I think at some point, even while I just had to calm down and ask him what exactly happened.
God.
But because it didn't even happen immediately. I had to walk away and just calm down. And then I came back. I was like, what happened? And then he told me, I was only trying to type. I can't remember the exact word. And then and before I clicked on it, and that was it. And I was like, my God, our
Mm,
children are not safe anymore. So even
mm.
from the assignments they do and everything. So see, last, so I also believe in prayers. We can't do
Yes.
everything alone. We can't be everywhere. So there is this thing, after you have tried your best, you say, God, see
God,
my
do
hands.
the
I have
rest.
tried. Please
Do the
protect these
rest.
children. Do the work. But we have to do our part. We see, God will not come down and do these things for us. We have to
I
do
know.
our part. So this, and constantly keep that line of communication open. So because he saw that I wasn't coming from a place of judgment anymore, I was actually
Mm.
wanting to find out exactly what happened. He was able to
Was able
tell
to
me the truth.
thank
And then we
you.
had that conversation. He was able to speak to me and everything. And then I further reinforced that this is why we do the things that we do, because out there is wicked, and these people are
The
subtle
world is
about
wicked.
they are so caring. And that's another reason why you can't do these basbos that our parents did for us, when you're
Mm,
training a child, because these people are the nicest people
mm,
ever. Have you ever
mm.
seen was on British, I think, was it America's Got Talent or British Got Talent, that it was the talent of, I don't know, a group of gay people and everything. There was nobody that was not spared though. Everybody cried on that day, because they come in very emotional things. They say how they don't want to, people don't want to include them, how they are left out. And so these people, they talk to the hearts of our children.
Mm,
So why are you not talking to the heart of your child? When the people
mm,
who are out there to destroy them are talking to their hearts, but you're still coming
mm.
with all your weird and archaic parenting
Like my
methods.
father did this to me, and that's how I'm going to raise you.
You must
Many times
die. The
have
moment you
changed.
see a bad pig, you must die. The child knows he's not going to die. So can you just come from, just from a place of empathy and compassion and love? It's not like you're indulging them and spoiling them, but trust me, loving a child can never be too much. So,
Love
and these
never
are things
fails.
that we can happen years before those conversations start to happen. And it is an ongoing process. So now say that, okay, because I want to talk to him about sexual abuse today, I'm going to prepare his best food. It won't work. These guys know. They'll just know that, oh boy, I know what you want to get. I'm sorry, nothing is coming out of me. And they even zip it the more. That thing that happened that my friend told me, I will never tell you. I know that is what you want, and then you use it for me for the rest of my life.
Mm,
So they know. These children are smart. So we need to constantly be in a place of no judgment.
mm.
Just constantly need to be in a place of communication and everything. And I think with that,
Ah,
God help us. God help us
Amina,
with the help of God.
you have given us, a lot of food for thought today. A lot of food for thought. It's been a very, very exciting and eye-opening
Thank
conversation. I mean, I would never have tied, sexual abuse to all of this
you.
exposure to
To
pornography
all
and all of that.
the
And I really, really love how you took us there. And I think it was actually for the best that we made a mistake with the flyer initially. It was just God giving
yes,
us a direction of where to go.
yes.
So I love it.
Of
I
where
love
to
it. Thank you
go.
so much. It's been an exciting conversation. Guys, if you're
Yeah.
on the call and you have questions, this is the time to ask questions. Amina is a boy coach, or she's a boy mom coach. Who are you coaching? Is it you are coaching the mothers of boys, Abby?
I'm
coaching the
coaching the
parents.
mothers of the boys, but
Okay,
honestly,
the
I'm
parents of the
beginning to see
boys.
that, especially in the north. Yes, the moms of the boys. I'm beginning to see, especially in the north, that it's just hard. They are not there yet. We're not there yet. So we're fighting it and everything. So I'm
Okay.
really starting to speak to the boys too, that okay, let us even just create a safe space for them. The excitement on their faces today, you don't even want to know. They were
Oh,
just like, hey, Amina, how can we get your number from our teacher? Can we get your number? So these people, and I really did ask them questions that I was like, do you speak with your mom? I'm not talking about I'm hungry or daddy, I need food, or can I borrow your car because they are very rich. They are very rich northerners here. Or daddy, I need your car to go and visit a friend. No, I am talking of, do you have conversations, let's say, about that girl that you like, and you're able to talk to somebody in your home about it, even if it's not your mom, your dad, maybe your uncle, your big somebody, and they're just looking at me like this, like, okay,
no way.
what are you saying?
I
And
can't do
so
that.
you see that there is a gap. There is a big gap, especially for us here. So I'm seeing the need for us, and the clarity comes with action. And so for every time I work, for when I do more, I start to see where the gaps are. And so while I'm a boy mom coach, I'm seeing the need to start to create a safe space for these boys
I
themselves, but not
love it.
forgetting that they are going back to these moms. They are going back home to these people. So we
We
have to
have
be
to
working
train all of
together. So we're
them.
also
Yes.
working with schools.
Yes. Don't leave us.
So
Don't
we're
leave
also,
us. Oh, we need you. You've
yes,
left us
ma'am.
now for
Yes,
the boys.
ma'am.
Don't leave us, please.
No,
I have a
no, but I'm
question
loving.
in the chat.
Honestly, I'm loving the boys.
It,
I'm loving the boys. Yes.
it's really exciting to work with kids. I'm a women's coach, and my children's school have been calling me to talk to the kids. The other day, somebody canceled on them, and they're like, "Please come and help us talk to the kids." I talked to the
Oh,
children. I had the best time
so
of my
cute.
life. Like I don't talk. I'm not a
Yeah.
teen coach. I
Mine,
do not.
they're
I
like
run
a
from them.
blank canvas.
Yeah, but it was
Yes.
amazing. So I know exactly how you feel. So we have a question
Yes.
in
Yes.
the chat from
Okay, ma'am.
Saad Kabir.
Okay.
Abi, I
Okay.
don't know whether I called that
Okay.
name right. Pardon me. It
Okay.
says, Give us practical steps to talk to a 6-year-old boy about abuse." Hmm.
Okay, okay. So a 6-year-old, he's still quite young, but not too young. So you
Hmm.
need to, first things first, like I said, have that open communication where you guys maybe do bedtime stories before you sleep, or you just have like 5 minutes every day where you talk to him, he talks to you about his day and all of that. And then you start to talk to him about like first thing, especially for that age, is good image, bad image. So
Yes.
you're not showing him very, obscene things, no. But let's say let's say honestly, at this stage, it is not too small to show a child, because he will see it online. A woman that is not properly dressed, maybe she is not fully dressed, so she is clothed, she's wearing the bra, she's wearing pants, but she's still showing skin. So tell them that no, this is not right. This is good image. Let a woman be properly dressed. Tell them, show them that no, kissing is not meant for children. Kissing is meant for adults.
Hmm.
But so when you see things like that, come and tell me. When you see things that are not appropriate on your phone, come and tell
Hmm.
me. Then talk to them about their body parts. This is your penis. These are your, even for the boys, tell them that these are your chest. They are not breasts, but nobody should touch you here. Nobody should touch you
Hmm.
anywhere
Hmm.
except do not even allow anyone touch you. So there's not even place for consent. Don't allow anyone touch you, and don't allow any secret talks about body. Like, okay,
Hmm.
can you, if you come somewhere, I'm going, because that is one of the reasons boys don't even talk when they when they are abused. The fact that a lot of times these
So
people
much
lure them
secrecy.
with, yes, they lure them. Some scare them that they will harm them. Some tell them that they'll stop giving them gifts because they constantly give them gifts. These people don't come with harshness. Some,
Hmm.
especially those that really have, they are here to sit down and do the work.
And the
They
enemies
don't.
of a
They will
man are
lure
inside his
them.
house. Your abuser of your child is
Yeah.
in your
Oh.
household.
Oh. So
Is
yes.
in your household.
Yes, 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 yes.
It's
Are the days
people
when we
that
used
are
to say
familiar.
stranger is danger.
No, it's
You
not
need
stranger.
to
It's
keep
people that
your
are
eyes
familiar with the
open.
children.
Your house help should not. And then I didn't used to understand. It was when we started this. It's not too long we started this intentional parenting journey as it is. But my husband, even though he's not in TIP, there are some things that he used to be so strict about, and I wonder, like, what's your own? No house help should touch these boys. If I am not bathing them and you're not bathing them, let them be dirty like that for 2 days, whether we are both sick and dead. and he's a very hands-on dad, very, very
I love
hands-on.
it. I
So
love it.
yeah, so no house help, no, up till they start bathing themselves, no house help touch them, no house help
I
back
love
them. And it was he before we started leaving them with helps, it was when they were grown, and so many instructions like that. So you just dump your son with somebody, and then you walk away because, oh, he's a boy, he's fine. Do not allow anybody call your son my little husband, my baby, all of those nasty things that people say. No, don't allow it to happen. And when your child starts to maybe get scared of around, uncomfortable around a particular person,
Take
please
them away.
probe, please ask
Yes.
him. Yes, pay attention, ask him questions, and let us know, let us get to the root of the matter. I was listening to somebody one day who was saying that, see, when it comes to sexual abuse and your children, everybody is a suspect.
Yes.
Everybody is a
Err on the side
suspect.
of caution.
Not
Yes.
on the side of caution, it is better. And so what else, it's just to constantly keep those lines of communication open, and then he will be the one to come and tell. Like, when I think, remember when one of my sons was in primary 3 or primary 2, he came to tell me that one of his friends would tell him they should go to the bathroom together, when he wants to pee, that he should escort. And that was when I brought a rule: there is nobody escorting anybody to the bathroom, and we had to
I
go to the
beg
school
you.
and let them know that there is nothing like that. Friends can go and play to the playground edge together and everybody.
Which
When it
one
comes
is
to the
bathroom
bathroom,
together?
why should you have why do I have to wait for you to go and pee? No, is our bladder running at the same frequency? No, there is nothing like that. I am not pressed. Tell him I am not pressed. So if we do not have these lines of communication open, trust me, they will pick it from anywhere. We've heard of cases where they go in the bathroom and then they are touching each other. They're touching, and before you know, it's a thing. And they're growing up with this, and this boy is not even come and tell you, because what do you do when they tell you anything is to shout. So
You'll be
they're
like,
just going to shout
hey,
about this.
you carry cane. You say, I said it. You are all this time you spend on the internet. You have gone to learn
Yeah.
bad thing. You start to
Yeah.
shout,
So, but who is
and you're
giving him
not
the
addressing
internet?
the problem.
And you do not address. We just need to place our priorities right, and we need to see the need to do this work that we have, because nobody is coming to do it for us. So it sounds like a lot of work, but honestly, parenting is not something that you just do on your own
You
anymore.
choose your heart,
It's
though.
like,
You choose
honestly,
your heart.
so
If you don't do it
just
now,
find
you
a
will do
safe
it later.
community. You will do it later. A safe space, or somebody, a parenting coach, somebody that you can talk to, that will start to give you these tools. It sounds like a lot of information today, but trust me, it is a gradual process. And while when maybe we're talking about all these things, they are tied together. So even emotional intelligence, sexual abuse, drug addiction, screen addiction, they are all tied together. So you have to do the work, and it is long. It's a journey. It is a marathon. It is not a sprint. So tips and hacks don't work. Sharp, 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 sharp. It doesn't work. But the one thing you want to do is to build a healthy relationship with your child, such that if there is, and teach them, get the knowledge and share it with them, such that when there is something, be very observant. Don't go. I know we want to start business, we want this, we want that, we are busy, career and everything. But even if it's 5 minutes, spend with your child daily, please. Thank you.
Ah, wow. I could go on and on listening to
Yeah.
you today.
Yeah.
I honestly, I'm sure everybody feels the same way in the comments right now. Like, I could just listen to you all day. You're making sense. And you're just giving it to us, and I'm like, oh wow, Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for this bumper conversation today. Thank you for going to all the
Yes.
corners that we didn't think about. Mind blown, Mr. Saad, right? Completely mind blown. Just that small question like this, she just took us to school. Like, what? I love it. Well done. Thank you so much. You can
Thank you.
follow her, and she's nurturing the boy's child. That's her handle. Her name is Amina Ismail, and she has this wonderful connection cards I bought from her. Tell us about your connection cards, Amina.
A challenge is coming soon. So yes, and we're even doing, coach. I forgot to tell you. No, I didn't forget. We're going to start it soon. So
Okay.
because like I promised, I'm not just going to sell. So these are cards, that help you build a relationship with your son. They are peculiar to, this one is for the dad and their sons, and this is for the mom and yes, and their sons. So these cards will help you build a relationship with your child. So they are 30 cards. Every day there's an activity and there's a guide too, to let you know why you're doing what you're doing. So this is the guide. Yes. So and then these are the cards. every day there's an activity for you to do with your child every
Mm.
single day for 30 days. So by the time you go through that 30 days and you start
Start
all over
again
again,
next month.
trust me, there
Start
is
again.
no how. Yes, there is no how your relationship with your children will not get better. Your relationship with your son will not get better. So, from simple things like teaching him grooming skills to building a fort with him, to having pillow talk and getting your hands dirty, just very
Mm.
fun because boys love to play. A lot of times when we sit down, we're giving him this lecture. You hear how, Coach Brenda was saying it that day, how they're talking about transgender in their house, and her sons are like, how can I be a girl like those girls? It's not condescending, but it's just fun. They're just making it fun. So you can't be a boring mom and be a mom of boys. I'm sorry, just go and find how to be hip and and a very, very happy mom, and even a dad
Mm-hmm.
too, because it's not just all serious when it comes to boys. Just very, very what's it called,
How
very
can
fun
we
and very
get the
fun.
cards though? They're asking how can we get the cards? They're asking for
Yeah,
what
so
age is this card for?
yes, please send a DM. The card is from as little as 3, honestly, to teenage 18 and even
Yeah.
above, because
I
a
have the
lot of
cards.
times we delay.
They're very versatile. You can actually tweak up or
Yes, we
tweak down
delay.
for your child. Yes.
Yeah, so we delay until till the child is older. I still had a parent telling me about it when she wanted to pay for the event. She was like, but my son is just 5, he's just 6. Can he come? Yes, this is the
Yes.
time to start to, create. That is the time to start to teach. The earlier the better. The law of first mention, knowing that they heard it first from you, they will never forget. They will always remember what I up till now. I remember the things my dad told me. I remember
Mm.
how he said it. I remember how he would tell me, burn the night candle. It's just for a while. And once the exams are over, what you're left with is with a very good result. You see that stress, you forget it in no time. So these are things we
Mm.
have to start to talk to our children about. Let them hear it from you. They want to hear it from you. So don't push them outside just because you don't want to do the work. You're too shy to do the work. And if your husband is shy, by all means, please get these cards. Get these cards and then start to use it. And maybe someday he'll just be like, what is that thing you're always doing? Or it's your son that will even go and say, oh, Daddy, I'm always doing this thing, Mommy, please. It's our turn today. Can we do it? But
Mm.
just make sure everything is available. So we're going to be doing a challenge in July, with
Okay.
this card. So I think also everybody I sold the cards to since December that we've been selling, we're all coming together to use the cards in July. It's going to be a 1 month
Yay.
challenge. So
My son's birthday is
yes.
in July, so
Oh my God.
yay.
It's going to be amazing. And I think it's also falling in the month of, this is it Pride Month and all of that. So it's intentional. I want us to create a relationship such that when we start to talk to them about, sexual abuse, transgender and everything, they don't think we're judging them. They don't think we're judging their friends. They come to us and they accept it wholeheartedly. So yes, in July we're going to be doing a challenge. You don't want to just have these cards on your own without having me hold your hands and tell you what you need to do, and just it's just going to be an awesome time. So please order your cards and
So they can
let's learn
is
to
there a
love
link? Is
ourselves.
there a link in your bio or they have to send you a DM?
Click the link in my bio or send a DM. Anyone?
Okay.
Yes, send a
All right.
DM. Send a DM. Yes,
So
yes, yes,
thank you
yes.
so much,
Thank you
Amina.
so
I mean,
much.
it was so great having you today. This
Yeah,
program
yes, yes,
is Women's Matters and is brought to you by the Women's Growth Academy, of which I'm the lead
yes.
coach,
Thank
a
you.
community of
Thank you for
women.
all you do.
Thank
Week
you.
in, week out, week in, week out. Honestly, your consistency.
Thank,
I doff my hat for you, ma'am. Well done. Yes.
thank you.
Hope
Okay, they are
it's
saying that
June.
June is Pride Month,
It's
Amina.
June. It's June, right? It's
So,
June. It's June. Yes, it is June. It is June. Somehow we'll get it. We'll get it done in July. Really, June is too much for me. There's just so much for me going on
no
here. I
problem.
honestly may not be able to
Do
do
it
it.
when you can, and
Yeah. Yes,
we'll do what we
yes.
can with the
Because we're going
kids.
to be bringing male coaches. We're going to be bringing male coaches. So yeah, I really did think it was July. Thank you for correcting that. We're going to be bringing male coaches to talk to our husbands too, because we're also getting them. So it's early, get the cards and start to toast them. Such that when we bring the male coaches to talk to them, to have master classes with them, it will make sense. There will be a lot more willing. Yes, to come. So please come,
Well
because I
done.
see it's not just for the boys, it's for the men to also start to heal, because these things they didn't see anybody do it for them. They didn't have anybody hug them. Pillow talk, what are you
Mm,
telling me about? But
mm,
when they start to do it gradually, they start to heal.
I
They
know.
start to heal. Yes. Yes, thank you, Coach. Thank you.
All right, darling. So I know we could stay here all night. We could, we could just talk about this all night because it's important like that. And we're learning, and we always want to just continue to learn. But I have to round up now. We're fast spent. Our time is fast spent. Thank you all for coming. My name is Brenda Unu, and this is brought to you by Women's Growth Academy. We're here same time every Tuesday at 6 p.m. WAT, where we talk about different matters that affect children. Next week, the last week of our Children's Month,
Children's Month.
we're going to be
Yeah.
talking about what you can do as a parent to help your child through bullying. There's so much bullying going around, so many stories, but we're going to say, what can you do as a parent? How can you help your child? How does your child stop being bullyable? How do you make sure that, you stand up for the child? What can you do? This is what we'll be discussing tomorrow. So make it a date with us next week, Tuesday, same time, 6 p.m. Go and set your alarms. And every week after that, we'll be here bringing you superior content as God helps us. Thank you so much for joining. And please follow my guest. Go and follow her. Follow me, all of you. Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you
It
so
was
much
amazing
for
time.
having me. Good night. Bye bye.
Thank you, Amina. Bye-bye.